Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. We surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards of Football. I'd like to give special thanks to my social producer guy, the guy that produced all these great shows here on 100 Yards of Football, the very talented Jeremiah Long. I'm your host, Vincent Turner, and today's video is about a legend, about a gentleman that changed my life in following college football and pro football, the legendary O.J. Simpson. So if you like the video today, please come in and share it, and we'll surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards of Football. When you talk about a gentleman that played the game of football at a high level, I don't think it's no football player on the face of this earth that changed the game of football from a standpoint of a guy that had the gladness, the skill set of being smooth, and a guy that had, I want to say, track speed, than this gentleman right here. And he did it at the highest level, college and professional. And when I think about O.J. Simpson, I think about the first time I came across him and really the game I fell in love when watching him play. November 18th, 1967. At that time, USC was ranked number 4 in the country. UCLA was ranked number 1. And I remember that game vaguely because the year before, my first really college football game that I have memory of was Notre Dame taking on Michigan State, the great game. They had Rocky Bly, Alan Page taking on the Michigan State team. They had Jimmy Ray and Bubba Smith. Then, let's forward a year later. I remember this game because the impact it had on me as a young man growing up in Memphis, Tennessee. And the game kicked off at 3 o'clock Central Time in my hometown of Memphis, Tennessee. And all I could think about was Los Angeles, the city of angels, Hollywood. But I never thought about USC as a football team and a program John McKay was building. But that day, number 32 changed my life. Looking at that game on Saturday afternoon, I remember before the game, my mother, who's still living, Inez Turner, she had a song that she liked and she loved, and she still loves this today. At 85 years old, still living, and I'm so blessed. Ain't no mountain high enough. If you know the two, Marvin Gaye and Tammy Terrell, ain't no valley low, ain't no river wide enough, ain't no mountain high enough. And I remember listening to that before watching that football game between USC and UCLA, and watching it at 763 Dunn Avenue, located in the Longview Heights neighborhood of Memphis, Tennessee. And me being 7 years old, I was a kid that was just excited. Never been excited to watch any program. But that afternoon, I wanted to see what was USC about as a football team, but I didn't even know nothing about O.J. Simpson, the young man out of Galileo High School. But after that football game, the emotional impact he had on me as a young man at 7 years old, I said, you know what? He gonna change the face of college football, and when he get to the NFL, he's gonna be something to be hard to handle. And I know a lot of people talk about Jim Brown. A lot of people talk about Walter Payton. A lot of people talk about Emmitt Smith. A lot of people talk about Barry Sanders. A lot of people talk about Eric Dickerson. But this young man right here on the screen, he was just magnificent. He was smooth. He was like gliding on water. He was like Terry Metcalf. He was like Tony Dorsett's speed. And watching them that afternoon when USC winning that football game 21-20, that's that one play that's going to always stick in my mind. That's why I love this game of football today. That's why I'm on 100 Yards of Football. That's why Mr. Jeremiah Long, who I give my life, my blessings to, for him, giving me the opportunity to talk about this legend that 64-yard run in that football game with a little bit 10 minutes to go. And I went back last night and I watched that play 10 times. Toby Page, the quarterback, comes up to the line of scrimmage. He changes the play. Red 23, red 23, red 23. He gives it to the juice, O.J. Simpson. O.J. goes into the hole. He makes a quick cut. Then he comes all the way back on the other side of the field with that cutting ability. And he takes it all the way to the house. And that's when Vincent Turner was born as a football player. That's when Vincent Turner was born as a lover of this game. That's when Vincent Turner was born to follow one of the greatest. And when he crossed the goal line, the memories that are remembered was that crowd in that sunny California sky going crazy. And Chris Schenkel and Bud Wilkerson doing the game. And Chris Schenkel saying captivating. And Bud Wilkerson, there's nobody faster than that boy ever in college football. That memory. When I think about O.J. Simpson and I go to glory, that's going to be the memory that I will remember because it changed my life. And you look at that 1967 college football season, and you think about all the players that was getting publicity that year, from Gary Beeman at UCLA, to Bob Johnson, offensive guard at Tennessee, to Larry Zonka, running back at Syracuse, to Ted Hendricks, the Mad Stork, defensive end at the University of Miami, Dick Anderson, the free safety at Colorado, Leroy Keys, the running back at Purdue, and O.J. Simpson's teammate, Adrian Young. That's what I remember about the preseason of 1967. Then we go forward at the end of the year, even though Gary Beeman won the Heisman Trophy, O.J. Simpson was the name that was over all other names when you talked about college and pro football. You talk about the young man's skill set. When you talk about playing running back at a high level, you think about O.J. Simpson, and you think about the cutting ability he had, which was an A+ as a running back. The quickness he had as a running back, A+. The speed he had as a running back, Olympic sprinter speed. The exceptional impact he had on little kids in 1967, and one of them is yours truly, Vincent Turner, at the age of 7. The slice and dice as a running back, A+. Gave people chills, made people get up out of their seat, A+. Red blockers as a running back than any running back that played this game. The vision along with that, A+. The football intelligence, A+. And he ran with instincts better than any running back that's played on any level from college to pro. Just outstanding, man. Then look at the awards he won. He won the Heisman Trophy at 68. First pick in the National Football League, 1969. His years at USC, 3,423 yards, 36 touchdowns in 2 seasons, coming over from the city of college, junior college in San Francisco, California. Then when you think about O.J. Simpson, after he finished playing, he became an actor. We know the end of his career and what he done after that. Lead man for Hertz Rental Car. But people don't really know how good he was as a running back in the National Football League. And what sticks out to me, he only played in 1 playoff game in his 11-year career. But think about this. He led the National Football League in rushing 4 times. He led the National Football League in touchdowns twice. He led the National Football League in points scored as a running back in 1975. But I want everybody on this platform to hear what I'm saying right here. There's no disrespect to Walter Payton. There's no disrespect to Eric Dickerson. It's no disrespect to Adrian Peterson. It's no disrespect to Tony Dorsett. It's no disrespect to the great legendary Jim Brown. It's no disrespect to the great man out of Pensacola, Florida, by the way, the Florida Gators, Emmitt Smith, the all-time leading NFL rusher. It's no disrespect to the young man from Wichita Falls, Kansas, by the name of Barry Sanders. But when I say this, and I want you to hear this, O.J. Simpson was the only running back in NFL history to go over 2,000 yards in 14 games. In 14 games, he went over 2,000 yards in 1973. I was in the 8th grade. And what makes it even more special is that he still holds the record of most yards averaged in an NFL game at 143 yards. Think about that, man. And you think about all the great running backs that's played this position. Everybody talks about Jim Brown. We talk about great running backs, in all respect. Everybody talk about Walter Payton as a great running back, in all respect. Everybody talk about Eric Dickerson as a great running back, in all respect. Everybody talk about Emmitt Smith as a great running back, in all respect. And everybody talk about Barry Sanders as a great running back, in all respect. But you think about O.J. Simpson. He's the only running back when he retired to lead the National Football League at 143 yards a game. And he's the only running back in NFL history to go over 2,000 yards in 14 games. Voted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Voted in the College Football Hall of Fame. His career as an NFL rusher, over 11,236 yards. A total of 75 touchdowns in an 11-year career. When O.J. Simpson passed last week, and I don't want to talk about no negative today, we're going to talk about O.J. Simpson's football career. I became very sad. And I was very hurt because he changed my game, as I mentioned earlier, of following football at a high level. And when O.J. Simpson played back in the late 60s and early 70s, football was a man's game. It's not what it is today. It was a game that you had to be a special kind of human being to play the running back position. And watching him play and looking what he did on the field, it's not been no better running back that's played at a level like O.J. Simpson and gone and had the career he did. And only to play in one career game in the National Football League in his career, that says something too. He didn't play on very good football teams with Buffalo. And then he went to USC, one of the best academic schools in the country. Then I go back once again, November 18th, 1967. He changed my life forever. I'm so grateful and so blessed that I'm still living and able on somebody's platform to talk about his greatness and his impact on the college and pro game. When I think about O.J. Simpson, man, just to tell you the impact that he had in my life, last night, it was about 10:30, and I called about 4 individuals because I wanted to get their opinion and their feelings about O.J. Simpson as a football player. I called my brother in crime, Mr. Ronnie Keeble out of Brooklyn, New York. And he said what he remembered about O.J. Simpson, shake and bake. Then I sent a text to my boy, Mr. Mark Denham, out of Lufkin, Texas. And he said, Tony Dorsett, silky smooth. Terry Metcalf, elusiveness. Then I called my man, Mr. Bill Bailey, Providence, Rhode Island. The word he said about O.J. Simpson, gazelle. Then I called my man, Stephen Killebrew, out of the state of Alabama, formerly of the Tyler Perry production team. And he said, O.J. Simpson gliding on water like Gary Sayers. And think about, I called all these gentlemen at 10:30 at night. All of them answered my phone calls, and that's what they said about O.J. Simpson. But I felt the spirit through the phone and through that text from Mark Denham that it's a feeling I'm never let go. For a long time, when you talk about great people that's played this game of football. See, let's look beyond O.J. Simpson and what you think about him. You might have hatred for him. You might have love for him. But I'm going to tell you this. He's been maybe one of the top African-American athletes that's had a major impact on African-American kids trying to play the running back position. When I was in the second grade, as I mentioned, and I watched the game at 7 years old, back then, if you owned a football jersey, back in the mid-60s through the mid-70s, the number one jersey was number 32, whether OJ was at USC or whether he was with the Buffalo Bills. I'm pausing because I can't believe O.J. Simpson has left us. The guy changed my life as a football fan, and my life is trying to play this game at a high level. And he did it with grace. He did it with honor on the football field. I don't think it's ever going to be another football player that had the combination of size, quickness, and speed as O.J. Simpson. There's been some that's been close to it. But when you say size, 6'1", weight, 210, speed, 9'7", Olympic sprinter, an ability to be smooth and glide. And when he broke in an open, it was vintage. And he played in college in one of the most powerful college football programs in the country at USC. I know USC won, maybe a national championship before he came on the scene. But I'm going to tell you, he put that USC football program on the map. And I'm going to even go a step further. When he went to the Buffalo Bills, even though he played in one playoff game, let's be honest, you had the great teams of the Pittsburgh Steelers in the mid-70s. I'm a diehard Dallas Cowboys fan in the mid-70s. You had Joe Namath that had led that improbable victory, the Jets over the Colts in 1969. But let's make no mistake, O.J. Simpson changed the National Football League with his style, with his grace, with his abilities, and just him being a human being. One of the most handsome guys that ever played this game. You think about O.J. Simpson, you might think about a lot of bad things, but it's a lot of good things about him. And I'm going to say this as I wrap this video up. There's a lot of people that's got a lot of evil to them throughout our country. And when he passed last week, they said a lot of comments and words that probably OJ didn't deserve. But at the end of the day, where there's a lot of people that don't like O.J. Simpson, and even though O.J. might have not did a lot of things in the right way when it's concerning the African-American community, but I tell you this young man is 63 years old, who's going to be 64 July 17th. I'm going to love the juice to the day I die. because he had that emotional impact on me as a 7-year-old kid growing up in the 901 Memphis, Tennessee. The legend himself, O.J. Simpson, Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Tammy Terrell and Marvin Gaye. Thank you to my producer this morning, Mr. Mr. Jeremiah Long. Thank you to the other part of 100 Yards Football, Mr. Logan Landis. Thank both of you gentlemen, and especially you, Jeremiah, this morning. O.J. Simpson, Galileo High School, San Francisco, California. The City of Angels, California, yay. USC. Y'all be blessed here on 100 Yards of Football.